We're here, we're smiling. I'm back. Hello, my friends. I have returned from my long break, and I'm here to destroy the world. Anyways, today we are going to be making a red velvet cake with some chocolate chips because, you know, your girl a little extra, okay? I'm extra. A little so-so, don't like plain. Anyways, we are going to have a red velvet cake, and it's going to be decorated like a COVID molecule because you gotta take inspiration from what's around you. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's get moving and grooving and dancing to the music. So in order to make your red velvet cake, you are going to need 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. Just trust me. 1 cup of chocolate chips. I'm using semi-sweet, just kind of whatever floats your boat, honey. 6 tablespoons of butter, but it's going to have to be melted because that's what my recipe calls for. Why are you like judging my recipe and questioning my like intelligence? Excuse me. 1/4 cup of canola oil and 2 tablespoons. I don't know, I have something about 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 1.5 teaspoons cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon baking soda, and of course, the thing that makes red velvet red, the dye. I'm gonna use 6 drops, but I mean, it depends on how dark or how bright you want it to be, you know, like your future. Anyways, let's combine all of my matching bowls together. Let's do it, put it all in there, mix it up. First things first, we are going to combine the butter. Let me make sure we don't waste any of that good stuff. Okay. We're going to combine the butter with our canola oil. I do it by hand. I won't like mess up as much because I overmixed it or I undermixed it. So by hand, I feel like I have more control. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what does. You just kind of want to combine this a little bit. Now, we are going to add the eggs. So, let's just get right into this. I'm gonna make a mess on this countertop. That's okay. Don't forget to clean up your mess, children. Because trust me, your parents won't be happy. Take it from the one who's done it several times. I'm not proud of it. So now that we added the eggs, we want to kind of whisk this together so that way it combines more. But we don't want to be like all crazy on it, okay? We don't want to overmix it. Just want to kind of break the yolks. Kind of get in there, get messy. Now we're going to add our buttermilk and our vinegar to the big bowl and mix it up. Yes, I did just say that. Do I regret it? Yes, I do. And the vinegar. Wait, before you mix our buttermilk and our vinegar, you first need to add the vanilla extract. Yes. Oh, it smells so good. I'm so hungry. Okay, so we're gonna mix it. We're gonna stir. Whip it! Bow wow, bow, bow wow. Obviously, my singing skills are top notch. Now we are going to add the rest of our dry ingredients except the flour. So let's put in our sugar. Be careful, otherwise you'll get like a giant dust cloud. I mean, it smells great. It smells great. But if you do it too fast, you choke on it. Okay, and this is our cocoa powder. Just gonna pour that in. Yeah. Okay. Our salt. For your life always has flavor. Cinnamon. So Christmas may be year-round. And baking soda. You can create an explosion every once in a while. Okay, so we're gonna mix this up, and it's gonna kind of get like really dark colored because of the cinnamon and the cocoa powder, but that's okay. Gonna mix it up. Now you wanna make sure you let the sugar dissolve. So it might be 10 years, it might be 3. Okay. Now before we add the flour, I usually like to add a little bit of food coloring, just like 4 drops or so. That way I have it kind of already working in. I don't know, I just do it, okay? Don't question my methods, or don't question it. Okay, so bloop, bloop, and bloop. Oh, I need one more. Bloop. That was a heavy one. That was a heavy little drop. Okay, so you just kind of want to mix it in a little bit so you get a beautiful red color. Okay, so now we are going to be adding our flour. Now don't, like I said, same for the sugar. You don't want to put it in too fast or otherwise you get this smoke cloud. You just kind of want to shake it. So you want to combine the flour and the rest of the mixture in the bowl. So it's going to take some time. Don't speed it up too fast. It's going to take some time. You want to make sure that you have no clumps. So after you get it all mixed, then you're going to start kind of whipping it. So once it looks something sort of like this, you're going to start whipping it. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, officer. I didn't do it. I didn't hurt the man. You have no right to accuse me. Why would you ever say it was me? How did that get there? Well, once your batter is smoother than a fresh skippy, we're good to go. Now we're going to add the rest of the red drops that you want to add. Just see, because now it kind of gets this pink color. So I'm gonna add a few until I get my desired color. So now we are going to take our spatula. We're gonna scrape down the sides and we're just gonna make sure that all that coloring got into all the batter. And we're also gonna make sure that it all mixed in together. Gonna scrape the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to add the delicious chocolate chips. So this is a cup of chocolate chips, remember, but 2 are for you. I'm a fun baker. Okay. So now we are going to fold in these chocolate chips. And so what you want to do is you want to go under and over. Some people call it tucking into sleep. I call it the hug and roll technique. A hug for her, a roll for you. So you just want to keep on doing this until you're satisfied with your mixing of the chocolate chips. Okay, now that we finished mixing in our chocolate chips, we're gonna set this aside. And now, we're gonna start on spraying our pans. So I have these pans from the Row Baking line, and they have these silicone rings, which is why I love them so much, and the fact that they're Rosanna Canticinos. But, besides that, because of the silicone rings, because I can just set these on top and then bam. So I just put a tray underneath, so that way I can put them in the oven, and they're kind of together. But anyways, let's spray this. Now, we are going to use a little bit of flour. I just like it a little extra because I feel like the spray doesn't do enough, and sometimes my stuff does not work out. So we're gonna take a little flour and we're gonna dust our pan. And we're gonna take a little bit. You just want to pat, 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 pat. Okay, so now we're going to take our batter and we're gonna pour it into our pans that we just sprayed. So just eyeball it. Now we're gonna pop these in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so once your cakes cool completely, you are going to level them. So right here I have a leveler. Now, if you don't have a leveler that can help you fight off zombies in the apocalypse, it's okay. You can use a normal leveler or you can use a serrated knife. Now I'm going to set this up so that way I can cut it. So that looks like about 4. You want to cut around the rim of the cake. Okay, now that we've leveled our cakes, we're gonna simple syrup them so that way they'll stay moist when we're putting them in and out of the fridge, and that way they keep that texture that we want and it doesn't get all hard. Otherwise, that's just a bad cake. Now, if you want to, I can show a video of how I make this, but simple syrup is just 1 part sugar to 1 part water. Okay, so we'll set this aside. Right here, I have a turning table. You can have a Lazy Susan. I have a cake board / cake plate, my offset spatulas, a napkin to wipe off my offset spatulas, my icing in a piping bag, or you can just put it in a Ziploc bag. This way I can just easily have more control. And then of course my beautiful cakes. So let's do this then. So first, I'm just gonna add a little bit of icing to my turning table. And then I can keep my plate here. Okay. And we're gonna add a big dollop of icing. And this is for cake. You kind of want to make sure it's center. So I'm gonna pipe like a fence all the way around the cake. And then I'm gonna fill it in zigzag. Now I'm gonna take my offset spatula and I'm gonna smooth this out. You're going to take the other cake and we're going to align it with this one. Make sure it's level. Now we're going to ice the entire thing. I'm gonna pop this into the fridge for about like 30 minutes to an hour, or you can even leave it in there for a day. Just kind of depends. So, let's get going. Currently, we are going to be making the spike protein, or the S proteins on the COVID molecule. Now, of course, I have some pre-made over here, but it's pretty easy to do. You just need a Starburst and a knife and a fondant tool. Let's go. Okay, so first, we want to unwrap our Starburst wrapper. You want to cut this in half. So now you want to heat this up with your hands. So you're just gonna roll this into a ball. It's kind of choppy, but roll. Try to smooth as many cracks out as possible. And if you can't, just put the cracks on the bottom. That's what I do. I have my little ball here. And so I'm going to take my fondant tool and I'm just gonna push down with some force. Not too much because you don't want to go all the way through the Starburst. You want to just kind of make like a little divot. So I'm gonna kind of work that around, and then I'm gonna take the bigger side. We're gonna work that around too. And look at that. I like to make these in advance because A, they kind of take a little bit of time, especially with the Starburst, and also they're kind of sticky, and this way, once they harden for like a couple hours, they're nice and hard, and they're not gonna melt or anything. They hold their shape. You don't have to worry about indenting your thumbprints or anything on them, which makes life so much easier. Now that our crumb coat has chilled, we are going to put on our last coat, which will be our red, beautiful coat. Mwah. Okay, so right here I have my spatula. Oh my goodness, I have a scraper. I put this in a piping bag with a number 12 tip, and this way I can just kind of easily have more control. This has been in the fridge overnight, so that way I can get a deeper color, but also I need to work it a little bit more, and I have hot hands. Put a little bit on there. Get it working. Now you're gonna take your offset spatula and you're just gonna smooth this out. Look at that gorgeousness. you want to take this cake, pop it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then it will harden up and then we can smooth it again. I just got this cake out of the cooler and now finally it's time to decorate. Now over here I have some green confetti sprinkles that will represent our membrane protein. And over here I have some gold sprinkles that will represent our envelope protein. And of course our S protein right here. Ta-da! Here's our finished COVID cake. Doesn't it look amazing? Now remember, y'all, it ain't that hard to wear a mask. It ain't. So, if you like this video, please give a big thumbs up. And if you do not like this video, try being optimistic for once and give it a thumbs up. If you like this, you might like my channel. And if it means that you made it to this part of the video, you made it to the end. I'm shocked. How'd you do it? Thank you for watching.